Phoenixes are rising. So I know a lot of us are going through it. A lot of us feel as if everything, all our hard work, all the shadow work that we have done, all the growth even, right? Some of us took our soul journey and got into, some deeper levels of healing, and we grew, right? Our wings were upgraded and updated. Some of us started businesses, once we figured out what our purpose it was and whatnot. Some of us were able to start the business. Some of us weren't able to start the business. Some of us were being sabotaged, right? And there's frustration. I'm hearing a lot of frustration from people who are like, why do I keep doing this? Right? Some people are questioning their faith. Right? If God is so powerful, then why are you allowing these people to literally try and kill me? I know, Phoenixes, because I've been asking the same thing. And I know that people say, you say that you're a professional transformational coach and narc coach, and you have this. Why don't you, how are you going through this? Because I'm a spiritual being in a human body, and being in this body, sometimes it's hard. And the reason why we get attacked is so that we're in our body and not in our higher selves. As I've said before, it's like I've always felt like my spirit was bigger than this body when I was a kid. Okay? Now, as an adult, one thing that I realized, and when I first started going through this gang stalking, and I guess you can call it now, it is what it's called, but I'm thinking in my mind, about, I have an image, and that's why I'm saying that, but it was the tip, it was the start of it, it was the grooming. Because a lot of people don't realize that gang stalking started after 9/11 in New York. New York, I had a cousin who lived on the East Coast, and we lived on the West. And they would get trends and fashion stuff way before it would hit us, right? So it could be 3 years before whatever was big in New York came to be big in Washington or California or Oregon, right? Right? Because it kind of just rolled on out. And, pardon me. And my nose is stuffy. It's like it's dealing still with a lot of kind of spiritual stuff going on. So anyway, I think I say that to say that I don't know. There's different areas. So the reason why I say what I say about, it challenges our faith. When we feel like we're not getting justice. And, for some of us, we've tapped out of the religion that was forced upon us, that we were born into. We've tapped out about that, and we've explored timidly different modes of spirituality, right? And in order to come to, to get closer to God, to get closer to know God. And sometimes we can think that we know what God is doing in our lives until we get this adrenaline fatigue, right? Gang stalkers, narcissists cause us to go through adrenaline fatigue. And adrenaline fatigue is just when you're worn out because you're constantly in a state of fight or flight or freeze. You're constantly having anxiety. And sometimes it's so subtle, right? Because with a lot of these cluster B personalities are into witchcraft, and they're finding that if we do witchcraft, we can do it longer because they're not going to know how to repel us, right? They're not going to know how to stop us. They're not going to know that it's us doing it to them. And we get to sit there and watch. And reason why I'm saying this, because I had somebody, again, I still have my clairs, and I'm grateful for them. But sometimes I get annoyed about what I hear. I get annoyed with the conversations that are being directed towards me, as if I don't have these gifts. So it feels like I'm being slapped in the face twice, by people who are obsessed. And I actually went to the Shango shop because I had to ask, and God had revealed, or one of my angels had revealed to me that, or reminded me that, remember, the Shango shop will do rituals, will do, candle magic right there in the shop. I said, right. And I've seen several times customers go in there, and next thing you know, she's asking, okay, do you want me to draw on the candle, or do you want to do it yourself? And this is what you put in, and da da da. I usually go there for sage, stones, and hemp incense, because they're so yummy. I love hemp incense. But I stopped because I was like, last time I went in there, something was, I could hear. I don't know if it was being directed at me. See, that's a lot of times with us empaths, when we pick up energies in the atmosphere, we have to have the spirit of discernment so that we're not taking it on as a personal attack. Because the spirit of discernment helps us from going after somebody who is the wrong person, right? I remember when, and I shared this on another video. So if haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're getting a snip, if this makes the clip for YouTube or for TikTok, then please go and listen to those. And thank you guys for supporting my channel. It's been a long time, and there's a lot of resistance. A lot of witchcraft that's being done on my channel to keep me from getting out there, and which right now I'm not really ready to do anything too big, but just to get this dialogue and create a community where we can talk about these things that people are telling us is craziness, when it's not, we're actually living it. So thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys. Because it's really important to me that you guys know through my experience. But anyway, yeah, they've been sabotaging since I've been on it. It was like fine, and then all of a sudden it'll slow down. So yeah. So we have to be careful, because a lot of moss around me. We have to be careful. So we have to have the spirit of discernment. So anyway, I picked up something at the Shango shop, and there was a lady though who was having some candle work done. And I thought it was so hilarious because she had brought the candle in a box to conceal it. And, and this was a white lady, and she was, I don't know what the type of candle was. It's none of my business. But this is what I'm saying. Different people who you wouldn't think would be into this, witchcraft or candle magic or whatever. Like, you can go into one of those shops and get a destroy all candle. And really, it's all on there in itself, because what she told me at this particular Shango, and I don't know if they own all the Shangos, but somebody should be checking them on what they do. Because number one, you can't play God, right? If I have to be careful because I'm evolved, I have to be careful on who I go for, right? Because if I'm not, that comes back on me. So I almost went off on somebody. This was like last month or something like this, because of the gang stalking. They like to set up, and that's, like I said, the adrenaline fatigue, when you're always in a constant state of fight or flight, and then you settle down, and then all of a sudden, you're there again. It's up, down, or it's just this never ending. Pardon me, right? You get fatigued, you get worn out, you burn out. It's burnout. And so for some reason, I was reminded of that. But I felt it, and so anyway, this lady was trying to conceal all this stuff. And yeah, you got, you go to the Shingo Shocks, and they got all these destroy all candles, end of the road, freeze, jar freezing spells, and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, because I had been, and I have people who throw negativity at me that I don't even know. They're just mad because their friends are mad. See, the thing with people who are demon possessed, character disturbed, and mentally ill and untreated, I have to stress, if they are untreated professionally, they don't know how to manage the tension, the anger, the animosity that is going on around them. When I was in Washington, I think I said this on another video, but when I was repeated again, a police officer, campus police officer, when I was going to college, I said, there's a lot of demonic. She was a Christian. And I wasn't, but I don't have anything against Christianity. I just wanted to go deeper. And that was fine. But I could, go in there, and I realized that it was a spiritual battle, because everybody that I was meeting who was attending this college was saying, there is a principality. There is a demonic presence here. There is a principality. Now, if you guys have ever been to Hollywood, there is a strong, right by the Scientology and all that, there's a strong demonic presence. Like, you just want this, it's like a God of War thing, right? Like, I remember I went down there for the LA Film Festivals, treating myself after I graduated, and took the train. It was beautiful, wanted to say it was in Santa Monica, it was LA, Santa Monica. And went to the pier where Lost Boys was filmed, and it was beautiful. But one thing that I noticed is, like, it was beautiful by the water, but when we got into this area, and I think because it was film people, right? People who were in the industry. And I've been realizing, it's like, I don't ever want to get into the industry, but I can still make videos. I can still make short videos with substance by myself. Right. And because I was like, just going through it, it was so hard. It was like pulling teeth just to get a little bit of information. Right. And they were always telling me, you need this equipment or that's not going to work. You need that. Because why? It was a distraction. Right. So this was me going through this college. So this was my first introduction really into witchcraft. And so like I said, the security officer was like, yeah, a lot of these guys, the first people who notice it and have an adverse reaction to the demonic energy are kids, animals, and the mentally ill. Right? So this is why you take care of your mental health, because and this is also why I say it doesn't matter if anybody believes what you've gone through. You know what you've gone through. And because you know what you've gone through, you got to take care of you, right? And so it kind of begs to differ, because I've asked God myself, look, I'm the one taking the punches. I'm the one in the freezer spells. I'm the one in the body swap spells, the mind swap spells. I'm the one that they're whose body they're literally hopping into. So I got to take spiritual baths. I got to make sure that I've closed every portal, right? And if I'm closing portals, how can I get wisdom as to where next to go, right? So that's the kind of thing that we go through as spiritual warriors, phoenixes, because it's frustrating. So I understand. It's frustrating. So it's okay to ask God. And whatever God tells you is what God tells you. right? Because I had to ask God. I had to go in again today because I'm like, you know what? I just had somebody pop in. Now they're blocked. I tell you, this is the most fascinating thing to see into the spiritual realm, you know, to see with your spiritual eyes, people who are attacking you. Now, I don't really know exactly who this person is, but I just smelt a lot of marijuana and I said, why am I smelling marijuana, right? Like there's been times too where these people have been so hard up and they don't understand. Because you're in my energy and because I listen to my gifts, I listen to my intuition. If you're trying to smell, I've had people float, basically, you know, when you astral project, you're trying to, or remote view, you're trying to see who's in my hotel room. You're trying to see what I've eaten, you know, all this stuff. And so, you know, I mean, I've had, it goes on every once in a while. I've even had people when I don't know exactly who they are, but it's always at the same time. Sometimes this doesn't happen regularly, mind you, because I cut it off. I'm like, I don't care what you think. If you're waiting, I know you're stalking. It doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like my rule is do not come within 25, 30 feet of me. You cross that threshold, you're done. Okay? That's my rule. So, you know, but I've started to smell whatever they're around, right? Whether if it's a plant that stinks because they want to keep out the birds or the cockroaches or whatever, you know, some people will plant those on properties so that that way they don't get that, you know, and it smells at a certain time. I've had that at a lot of businesses. When I walk to work, I smell those plants. So I've been able to deduce, okay, you're in this area, right? I mean, like I said, I've had people come to my work and, you know, at night I work at graveyard. I had a red car, which is their, you know, part of their colors for Santa Muerte. And I've had a red car in the parking lot of the site that I'm at, going around. But what I'll feel somebody in my energy, almost like they're breathing in my ear, right? And my brain will change. See, one thing that you guys will notice as you start to deal with your stuff and you start to level up spiritually and psychically, one thing that you'll start to notice is that when your brain chemistry changes. God brought that up to me. Not God. I don't think God brought it up to me. I just think it was just something I noticed. Because, again, I was like, this person has been trying to bind my mind to their mind so that that way they're always in the know. They want to know what I'm doing because she's trying to control what I'm doing. She's trying to control my life. Mind you, this is somebody that I knew for 2 months, and this was Jiminy Christmas, 4 years ago now. 4 years ago, and I'm still dealing with this gang stalking shit. So anyway, but you will find that you will be able, and what I said to myself is like, my brain patterns, my brain waves are changing. I'm sharp and high vibrating because I'm always in mantras or I'm always thinking of, you know, my imagination is my saving grace. And when I get into my imagination, I'm imagining, okay, I'm going here, I'm doing this, right? So when they say dream big, I imagine big. I imagine that I'm with my soulmate. I'm imagining that we're building empires. I'm imagining that every trans, you know, Black and Puerto Rican trans got housing and job skills and healing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. I imagine doing my part, being in my purpose and healing and helping to harmonize and helping other people to get into their purpose and into their passion. And so you can tell when, at least I've been able to tell. Sorry, one of my things is going off. When my brain signature changes, like I can feel it and it doesn't feel good. This woman who has been in my energy, because like I said, she won't come to me. She won't see me. She actually used to drive around and park at a distance and then go pay a homeless person to make fun of me or to give me something that only she knew that I would, or give or say something that she knew that I would recognize, right, in some way or form. When she finally stopped doing that, when I let her know that that was a boundary that gave me cause, gave me authority to protect myself. You know, imagine somebody who wants you to think that you're a prostitute. And that's what I got. I heard her saying, oh, you're a prostitute. And so they get into your thoughts and then they try and make it seem as if, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to do this now. And this is who you are, right? She kept trying some really weird, bizarre shit. Because I remember thinking, fuck, you know, I mean, to survive, am I going to have to prostitute? And it's like, because I'm not really good at it, you know? But in her grape ape mind, that was something, you know what I mean? Anything that she could say, yeah, let's belittle you, let's make you feel really bad, right? Because this person was mad because I wasn't attracted to her, I wasn't going after her. Right? So because I'm not going after her, that means that there's something wrong with me. And at one time when I became homeless, she was trying to convince me that we were soulmates. She was trying to convince me that we were soulmates before. And I was like, no, we're not, dude. We are not equally yoked in any way, shape, or form on any level, in any dimension, or any realm. We are not. And see, that's where a lot of these tarot readers are so sloppy and immature, really. Is when you keep saying, this is your person, this is your person, this is your person. And you're describing, because you're conditioning people who do like to listen to tarot, you're conditioning people that, oh, because this is your person, but this is what they're doing to you, and you don't have to put up with that. No. Why would you say that this person is that person's person when it's not that person's person? It's not that person's kin. It's not the person that person's going to be with for the rest of their life. Because what my spiritual mom taught me is that usually the devil, before the Lord blesses you, the devil will come in. And I do agree with this because, like I said, I've had more encounter. This is why some of us question God, because we're getting attacked so heavily, so viciously. I mean, like murderous rage. And it's really hard when it's not, there's not a body attached to it, but you know it's coming. It's just coming at you. But this is so, because we're like, okay, I am more in tune with the satanic than I am right now with the heavenly. And it's not for a lack of fucking trying. It's not. Right? So what I'm saying is like, you have the right to ask for answers, to demand answers, right? And to also remember to give yourself a hand clap, because you're the one taking the brunt of most of these attacks, right? It's not like you have, and I've said it before, it's like, when you get in touch with your angels and guides and you can call them by name and you know which angels to call on and things of this nature, then they do come. They do come. What's frustrating is that it's you never seem to get a break. I told God, I said, you know what? It feels like I have to be on battle mode 24/7 when I just want to chill out. And I am so exhausted and I am so tired of this shit. So I'm wondering, why aren't you strong enough to defeat these people while we're going through? Or is it that I have to be on 24/7 to be strong enough? But I just don't know the right formula. I don't know the right incantations. I don't know the right spells to do to protect me and keep me out of this. Because even people say, oh yeah, hey, this is something that there's, we're chosen or whatever. And it's really a blessing to go through this. It's not a blessing to me. I'm going to be flat out honest. It's not a blessing to me. It's not a blessing to deal with delusional, deranged lunatics who feel as if they have control over other people's lives to the point where they are literally stopping them from doing business, sabotaging anything that would give them a respite from the abuse that they continue to suffer, right? These are cowards that won't show their face or change their face when it's convenient. So it's not a blessing to me to be made crazy, because who's going to pick me up but myself? So, it doesn't mean that I don't work for the light. It means that I need to learn what the structure is. I had my maintenance guy, I had to move because finally they moved me after almost 2 years of complaining. And, they were going to move me once last year, towards the end of last year. And I didn't go because I was exhausted. And here's why I was exhausted. Why do I have to fight? And this is what I've realized too, Phoenixes, and not realized, but just, I have to keep, so much is going on right now that is twisting our noodles. That is, I don't watch a lot of news. I don't want to hear it. I got enough to deal with, because, and see, this is also goes to show you what the narcissist and the psychopath and that whole cluster B cocktail, what their priorities are. The world is crumbling around us. People are going through stuff. And the only thing that they can think about still is how to kill us. And it's the demons within them, actually, It's like, yeah, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do it slow, though, because, that's what the demon masters want, I guess. So yes, no, it doesn't mean that I still don't work for the light, but I need to know who my team are, right? It's like if you call on your ancestors, make sure that you're calling on the ancestors that actually love you, that actually can put in work, that actually have skills, right? When you want to start a business, call on that ancestor that was a billionaire, in their day. You need somebody taken out because you've told them several times not to come into your airspace. Call on them assassins. Just for that, right there, just this assignment. You see what I'm saying? We need to know, we need to be open. This is why we have God talks, right? Like, you need to be open to things happening. Open to getting a response that's out of the box, right? Like, I'm not going to go to a church and then have them pray over me or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I, if this is triggering people, hey, because I'm not going to do that because they don't know, right? But if you've already built that relationship with the Most High, right? Like, I'd already built my relationship with him. I mean, like, I'm like, dude, I've told you that I was going to take this on. I ran from it. Like the hero's journey. First, we don't want to take on the call. Then, something happens and we have to take on the call and go on our journey. Right? But speaking of the hero's journey, because in the third act, it seems like we're getting ready to cross the finish line. Watch the movies. Think of your favorite movie or even your TV show, because in every episode, there is a beginning, middle, and an end. There's a first act, a second act, and a third act. So think about that. Because right when you think that you're going to have your blessings, you don't want to have to deal with this stuff because you've already put in the work, and you think that everything is going to be fine, and then all of a sudden that demon rises again and makes up for lost time. That narc demon makes up for lost time, because why? Now they got to get revenge on you, plus make up for everything that you destroyed that they had done to you before, which is basically healing yourself, getting wisdom, getting knowledge. And they're not happy about it. They're not happy about it. So Their whole thing is now I got to end you. Have you ever noticed in every movie, film, cartoon, whatever, like I said, there's always a beginning, middle, and an end. The first act, the hero doesn't want to really take it on. They get these excuses, or they start it and then they're like, I'm cool, I'm good. That's all I need. I don't need to do any more. And then they go about their business, and then all of a sudden it rises up its ugly head again, and then they say, okay, fine, I'm going to do this, right? So sorry, I'm looking at a tutorial. But in the third act, right? In the second act, you've learned all these things. You've gotten wisdom. You may have some type of guru, somebody that motivates you, somebody that's a big support system, somebody that you can kind of go to and refuel person, place, or thing, right? And then in the third act, it's like, okay, we're going to get this over. We're going to get to the end result. And then something absolutely catastrophic happens, right? And you may, some people you may lose on the way that you never thought, because, either they were sacrificed by the enemy or they sacrificed themselves to protect you so you could keep moving on, right? Because you're supposed to be the hero. You're supposed to be the most important character. So that's where a lot of us are at right now. It's like, okay, I thought that I was that I was at the finish line, right? And I do believe in divine timing, because I can't see 360 degrees like the Most High can. Even as an empath, we do get downloads and whatnot. But if we're not supposed to see it, we're not supposed to see it. And so anyway, that's kind of what it feels like. It's just, hey, I thought that I was done, and I've put in a lot of work, and a lot of people have been going through things, negativity and sabotage, and on top of whatever the cluster bees in the bigger governments are doing, right? They always say shit flies downhill. So but we're exhausted, right? Because it seems like evil is never going to go away. And so we have this God talk. And sometimes, though, but if you've noticed that sometimes the hero will be like, hey, I'm in the third act after getting hit, depending on what it is. It's like, okay, we lost the contract, now we can't have this nonprofit, and these kids are going to have to go, to different homes or whatever, and back into whatever it's called, right? So back into foster care or whatever, right? So we give up. We give up. And, when we give up, sometimes it's just we need to take a break. That's like, I think that's a big, it's adrenaline fatigue, Sometimes we just need to take a break, right? Especially when I can't hear what God's doing in my life, then I need to take a break. When I can't hear God and I'm starting to get more mad at God than loving God, then I need to take a break. I need to take a break. And I need to love on myself. I need to focus on raising my vibration, because we do get depleted. We do get depleted from all the attacks, from, it's really weird. Like, it's kind of the superhero. I'm a superhero at night, but by day I'm a newspaper reporter. And that's how it literally is how it feels, Phoenix, is if you think about it. I'm a mother, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, but I'm still fighting demons, right? I'm still fighting creatures that are in the spiritual realm that, unless you are at that vibration, you can't see, hear, or feel, right? So the thing is, I have no permanent solution. I wanted to say this just because It was on my mind. And also because this person, I was thinking to myself, Jiminy Christmas, the battle never, like I'm here at work. It is 3 o'clock in the flipping morning. And I get this person who's come to me, like I've felt this negativity. I did a mantra to get it away. And then here this person comes back again, and I'm smelling marijuana. I'm like, okay, there's nobody here. This place doesn't normally smell like marijuana, right? And then I hear, clear as day, I hear, I'm going to kill your dogs. And that lit me up. And so, I had a few choice words in the astral realm for this person. And, but I thought to myself, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, actually, it was when I got that download. Or not, it wasn't a download. It was somebody just literally projecting towards me, whether they were in, their astral body or not. They were projecting this evil and telling me this is what I'm going to do, right? And smoking weed, all this stuff. But it got me to thinking, it's like, gosh, I just want to rest. I've been resting. I've just been resting. I go to work, I work out, and I find the time to just lay down, right? And love on my babes, right? We need that time to rejuvenate, to heal. And I noticed that when I rest, and especially since I've not smoked, because a lot of it was me smoking. I was taking up a lot of time that I could have been resting, but I was too busy smoking for 2 hours straight, So now that I don't do that, and now I'm getting that healthy rest, where I'm not constantly on high alert. And I thought to myself, it's like it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and this person is directing, this creature, this demon is telling me that they are going to attack my girls. You know what I mean? And it's not the first time that I've had this, but it's like, sometimes you have to put things in perspective. Like, here are these people who are targeting you, targeting your beliefs because of some beliefs that you have, targeting you because, you won't have sex with them. You won't sleep, you won't date them. You won't make yourself available. That's why these guys have been pissed, right? They're pissed about their own lives. They're pissed that they can't do what they would want, what they want to do, that they can't love themselves, that they can't, I don't know, find happiness like we have. Like, my life did not start out good at all. At all. And what has been good has been the good that I have created. So we have to understand that what has been the good that has been in your life has been the good that you have created for yourself. Because you chose the light. You chose to stay out of the darkness. You chose not to linger there very long. So you can find happy places. Like, I will think of something, disassociation used right can save your life. And I've thought about, like I just said, it's like I've thought about, my imaginations are more on, saving the planet and saving people. But I have to, be honest now, because I know a lot of us have been thinking about it. It's like, gosh, look at it. Like I said, I'm not that type of transformational coach. I'm not going to lie to you, Phoenixes, because then how am I relating to you? Right? Like, I'm not going to do, I don't do the half the things that I think about. But one thing, how we grow is by not denying what we're feeling, even if it makes other people uncomfortable or they judge us for it. Because that's how we become sick. We become sick when we start trying to play as if we're not hurting, as if we're not disappointed, as if we're not questioning God and saying, why? Why? Why would you have us go through this and not provide us with protection? You know, I actually had one of my guides say, but I gave you this, and they were talking about a mantra. I was like, but I gave you this, and they leaned over and they looked at my PC screen, my laptop screen. And I was like, really? And I was like, okay. And, you know, it made me kind of feel like a child that the parent was like, hey, you know, because I'm trying to get out of it so I can go and play, right? I don't want to be in this. I don't want to have to continue to warfare, right? But I am dealing with people who are so intense and so determined, so obsessed that I can't even think my own thoughts without being accosted. Like, I mean, like, I'm not exaggerating at all. So basically what I'm saying is do not uh, allow somebody not to have you have that fear. Do not stay in it. Like, I'm not going to stay in this. I had my God talk. I've done my gratitude list. I did another, you know, said the things that I was grateful for, because sometimes when you have a God talk, it brings you wisdom comes because you're purging. So you'll get wisdom on a subject or a situation, right? All of a sudden. My thing too has been, you know, when I get out of here, because there has been conditioning that has been done. Like, I literally, when I open the door, I have to be strategic, so that I have to work and walk strategically, because there are so many landmines that are out there and I don't want to explode. Like I said, I've gotten nicked, you know, like when they tried to kill one of my fur babes already. So that's what it was like. This person was literally thinking and sending it to me, I'm going to kill your dogs, as they're smoking weed, because they're mad because I won't let them in my energy. I have a succubus who keeps trying to have sex with me. She did some kind of spell, which I think the purpose was to have me to continue thinking about sex, because for her, it disturbs her that I don't have that overwhelming desire to keep screwing people, you know, to have intercourse with people. I don't. And I've already explained, you know, I'm cerebral. So if you can't make love to my mind, which means not to mind screw me or abuse me, but if we aren't equally yoked vibrationally, then there's nothing that's ever going to happen. I've been singles too long, purposely. You know, I'm not going to just give it up and then, you know, get your STDs or whatever on me, and your bloodline curses and all that kind of crap. No way. You have to be careful who you're sleeping with. And it's not just spiritually either, or about the bloodline, it's genetically. Like I said, everything is passed down, right? Like, what do you want to give your kids? Like, don't, you know, these succubuses and these people, they're so, I want status. Like one of the trolls who's been, you know, on me for 10 years, gang stalking me for 10 years. She said to me telepathically, she goes, I got status. And I said, your status is 5150 and child molester, rapist, and racist. But, you know, on the outside, you wouldn't know, but I got proof that, you know, to all of the stuff. But you know what I'm saying? But it's like you put on this mask and you try and pretend that you're this and this. And I mean, I remember when because I was thinking too, I said, you know, as far as the gang stalking goes, or just one person gang stalking you, you know, using their gang to stalk you, people, the flying monkeys to stop you. Or stalk you. And I thought to myself, it's like, because I caught this one girl and I have a picture of her and I cussed her out too. And I told her, don't you ever come into my energy field or in my existence ever again. I was like, well, who do you think you are? Like this gang stalking, you are gang stalking for a literal sex offender. I was like, and I thought to myself, what is she telling these people that get that as a reason? There was a show on where I mean, that showed how people, if you told them, God, what would you do? I think it was called. Yeah, I think it's called What Would You Do? The TV show. Let's see. Yeah, What Would You Do? It was a TV show. So this guy was going around and he was telling people that this person they're under surveillance and where she's a criminal and da 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 da. So I'm wondering, it's like you're getting other people to stalk me based off of what? Like what really would somebody be able to say, especially though, and knowing that they've been doing this for 10 years. What would somebody be able to say that would get other people to hurt them? Like what would it, like Jiminy Christmas. And then to have it make sense too, because one thing that I noticed about the show and about, a lot of us who have been targeted individuals is that nobody ever comes to find out. Nobody tries to find out. Like I would bust out and be like, I'm not going to just, do something because you say it. You could be mad at this person. I would literally say that. I have. Like you could be literally just mad at this person trying to get them caught up because you feel some kind of way about them, whatever. So, yeah, it's not so, just know. And I think that, so basically the two reasons is because it's okay to have a God talk. Don't lie to yourself. Do not gaslight yourself. If you're feeling uncomfortable, have your God talk. Have your God talk. They already hear what you're saying in the first place. Ask. I've personally asked, like, okay, so maybe we need to reevaluate our relationship. Maybe I need to get to know you deeper. What is it? Where are you? Where are you for me? Right? Who do I call on? I remember it was the same thing that when I asked to know the names of my guides, and I didn't even, I don't know why I asked. I just did. I said, I want to know the names of my guides. And through free writing and because I was journaling a lot and I'm getting back into journaling a lot. And because I'm writing my scripts and I'm writing my book, telling you guys the story about, me and getting off the streets and the type of inward spiritual transformation that took place. Anyway, and I had to ask this, like, I want to know you for who you are to me, not who you are for the pastor or the pastor's wife or, any family member. I want to know who you are for me, because I'm the one that spent a lot of time in quote unquote hermit mode. I'm the one that I did that because I thought that there was something wrong with me because my narcissistic family was telling me that there was something wrong with me as the black sheep. Right? I had people who, but then when I got out, I still carried that with me, and I wouldn't have relationships until I felt like I was fixed. And during this time, it wasn't that the Most High wasn't there for me. I had people who were loving me and who were open with me. And I created a pattern in the universe where I resisted it. I rejected it because it's like, okay, well, I'm no good for that. I always felt like if I had a hot, beautiful woman, right, who would be standing by me and looking me deeply in my eyes, right, all I saw was from myself was this creature, this mutation, which was my dad, the devil, the demons that he had. I was carrying with me. There was, a lot of times you got to be careful on what adages you use, because people will say, oh, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, and the curse of the father is the curses of the son. All that bullshit. It's the translations aren't even right. Does not mean that I have to take on anything from my family. Like when people say, oh, it's genetic, because I have a cousin who had cancer. I have my grandma who had a stroke. Okay, there's people who will go through that, but they had bad, there was something that was going on with them. It doesn't mean that I have to go through it. And I mentioned this in the most recent video that I posted. So go check that out. I'm not going to rehash it here, but it's okay to do God talks, and it's okay to talk. I mean, I scream and I yell because I have the right. I have the right. And to me, it's not being disrespectful. God already knows that I'm pissed off anyway. God already knows that the reason why, I do a lot of things is because you have not told me to. Like, I'm ready to bounce. I'm ready to take matters into my own hands. And that's one of the things that I was, having my God talk. That's why I have my God talk. Because a lot of times after I have my God talk, then all the wisdom starts coming. I'll have my God talk, and then I'll start crying. And then I'll feel that release. See, sometimes we need to purge. We're in the third act towards the end, and we have to start purging, Phoenixes, because if, everything's hitting us and we're frustrated, which is what the enemy wants, and they're still attacking, and they're attacking even heavier, right? Like, I know I've been going through heavy attacks since the middle of well, not the middle, but let's see, October, September, was it August? July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, pretty much since mid last year. And I said to God, I was like, oh my gosh, like these attacks are hitting harder and more frequently, right? Like, I felt literally when this person who's been on me for a long time, it started going through a psychosis. And it did not feel well. That's the thing. So that's why you have to do your spiritual baths, and you have to learn to block off your portals. You have to block your memories. You have to block your Akashic records and stuff from being penetrated, because that is exactly what these guys do, because they need information on you. They're nosy as all get out, But I found this because every time that this demon rather, comes to me in the astral realm, she tries to enter through my spine. Your spine is a portal, okay? And then attach it. So the demon that she houses, that's what they do. They'll attach to you, because especially, I guess, if they know that this person is getting ready to croak or whatever. I don't even know what's happening to her. Like I said, I haven't talked to her. I don't make it a point to talk to people who abuse me. It's like, when I'm done, I'm done. But these people, cluster B personalities, cannot accept rejection. And it doesn't matter, the excuse that they give. Like, I've had people say, well, you were rude. No, I mean, you can take it as being rude if you want to, but I'm not interested, period. And I have the right to determine who comes in and who doesn't. And you think about it, we're shamed. We're shamed to when we set boundaries. If we're not a part of the popular crowd and they can't make money off of it, we're shamed. We're shamed when we set boundaries. How dare you? I know that as a Black person, I was always told that I was being narcissistic, that I had an ego problem, or I had a chip on my shoulder. I heard that term yesterday, and oops, sorry, not me going to the bathroom. It's just I stood too close to it, doing rounds. All right, sorry, Phoenixes, I'm back. I had to take care of something, but yeah, so I forgot where I left off. But yeah, I mean, it's we're in the third act, basically, just to wrap up. We're in the third act. And this is normally when the heroes get exhausted. And this is normally when the antagonist goes for the juggler. It's usually when they can't stand it anymore, that we exist and that we're getting close and they try and take us out. Ergo, this person in my energy telling me that they were going to kill my dogs. You see, sometimes having the gifts is really good, but when I hear comments like that, that's when it's like, fuck, I'm glad I heard it so that I can prepare. But to know that people talk like that's what this is why this is why I have these workshops, Phoenix is Rising. Become a Patreon member. You have access to 2 different tiers. So go and check it out if you would. Again, like I said, I'm working on it and getting more stuff, getting more workshops together, doing it. So that way you guys could, because you have to think about what you're thinking about. So then that way, like I would not, if I was in denial about who I am as a spiritual being and my gifts, right? Not even that, but if I was holding on to other people's beliefs, other people's guilt, other people's shame, right? Having them still play in my head. If I wasn't accustomed to having stillness, right? If I hadn't have done the work so I could tune into God's voice, my ancestors' voice, my guide's voice, and my voice, right? Even my fur kid's voice, because they telepathically communicate. That's all they do. And sometimes I can get on that vibration and I can pick up some conversations, right? I remember when my second oldest, Hazel, she's 6. I think she's 6 or 7. And she looked at her baby girl and her baby was looking the other way. And the baby said, Nubian said, I want to go across there. And she looked at her and she says, you can't. And she has a sweet, kind of soft, high pitch voice. Right. And those of you who know will understand what I'm talking about. There was another time when she was really sick and I was mad. I mean, I caused it, but the enemy was exploiting that. Right. And this is what I mean. It's like it's never fucking ending, where you feel like you have to be on war mode 24/7. You can never rest. You can't work. You can't do anything. That's the whole, and that is the reason they want to make you feel crazy. And people normally will snap, right? Without a spiritual program or anything like that, you'll snap. Because I've had to just say, you know what? I'm done. I'm shutting off. I'm shutting down. The adrenaline fatigue is real. I'm done. Right. And but she said, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. And I was at work. She was in the hotel. I was at work. I was like, 30 minutes away. But that was the bond, during that time I learned to pray hard. I learned to declare and decree. That's when it was. That's when I learned to declare and decree. That's when I realized I don't have to be going through this shit. Right? It doesn't mean so, because sometimes it's even harder when you do realize I am royalty. I don't have to put up with this. I have done nothing to these people, right? I have done nothing to these people. Like the person who was coming into my, and I've done nothing to the succubus. I've done nothing to her. I mean, people say, well, you rejected her. No, that's not doing anything to her. That's not doing anything to her. What happened to her, what was done actually to her, is causing her to have that, it caused her to take on that succubus spirit. I did not do anything. See, a lot of times these people see our light and they want to force us because they feel entitled because, oh, this all happened to me. You have no idea. They've been trying to kill me since birth. Like, it's no joke. Right? So anyway, let me finish. This is longer than I wanted it to be, but yeah. So this is the way it's supposed to be. This is, there would be something wrong, Phoenixes, if you weren't pissed off at the creator. There would be something wrong, I am not like I listened to somebody and she had something really good to say, but when she said, it's a blessing to be going through this, I was like, oh, you a damn lie, because I don't feel blessed. I feel like unless, right now for me in my situation, in my God talk, I said, if I don't go now, because I'm not going to put up with this, right? But if I don't go now, they're going to keep doing this. And this is, if you've been in a narcissistic relationship, they are on repeat and cluster. It's the whole cocktail, right? So that's why I say cluster B personalities, because it's not just narcissism. It's the psychopathy, sociopathy, histrionic, borderline, bipolar, antisocial, and I think one more. But they will reset themselves every 3 months. They reset. Like literally, this is the scientific thing. They reset because they have to continue to, let me say this, if certain characters show up more, like if the person's borderline personality is reset, right? So if that's the main one, but you also are a psychopath and a sociopath, then you'll just keep doing psychopathic and sociopathic shit. But, and narcissistic shit. So, but imagine going, you having to go through that every day. And I was like, since I have been in this city, and they targeted me for gang stalking, it has been, I've gotten their patterns down, which has enabled me to defeat them and have somewhat of a normal life. But, it's come time to be over and done with this completely. Right. So the last thing that I will say is, after saying that, yes, have your God talks, be mad, be angry, be frustrated. But the thing of it is that I do know that it's not God. My question, ask questions. If you feel that you're not being protected enough, then hey, ask questions. Thank them for protecting. Like I said, I thank them earlier. I did a gratitude list. I do 10 things that I'm grateful for every day. Whether I do 10 things that I've accomplished, I may not get that, but my first priority is 10 things that I'm grateful for, and then writing my scripts and stuff like that while I got the time. Because like I said, my job is my sanctuary, and my job is when I get the downloads and whatever, and they know that, so they block it because they don't want me to see them coming, right? But then they get into my energy field. These aren't smart criminals. They're potent, but they're not very smart. So you're trying to block my crown, and you're trying to block my third eye and block my throat, but you just gave yourself away as, somebody who's planning to hurt me again, right? So anyway, but have your God talk, be real, be upfront and honest with the Most High. Like if I was had you as a client, I expect you to be upfront and honest with me, like I'm upfront and honest with you guys, right? Because I'm not a breastfeeder, and I'm not in this. I'm not in this to showboat, right? I really care because I see how deeply these cluster B personalities and these gang stalkers hurt people. People have committed suicide. People have gone absolute batshit fucking crazy to where they're homeless because of these guys. And these guys see them every day, and they interact with them. I watched it while I was on the streets. I'm not the only one. Remember, Phoenixes, we're not the only ones. And that's what we do have to really remember. Vent, right? Ask for solutions, ask for more strength, ask for clarity and deeper and wider discernment. But also know that divine timing sometimes means that there are other people besides us that are warriors too, that are waiting for their justice. It's not just us that are waiting to get from underneath this and cross over. It's not just us. That's what God had reminded me the day before yesterday. And, but still, there's obviously some purging. So purge yourself, and do your 10, do your 10 things that you're grateful for. Do your journaling, do free writing, right? So you can get the names of your guides, so you can get downloads, so you can just open yourself up, right? And I know it's scary, because it's scary for me to continue to have myself open right now, because they went in harder when they know that they can't get you in the physical, when they know that you're beating their asses in the spiritual. Then they got to try and, devise other things and other ways. But do know this, that they have grown weak. The longer you survive, the weaker they grow, right? And I also make decrees and declarations too, because I made a decree and declaration, and this is what changes the tides. I've been doing that, right? Since I realized that, I don't have to put up with this, and I can charge you for being in my energy. I can charge you for throwing witchcraft at me, whether you paid somebody to do it or not. It still comes back to you and them, and I'm going to charge you for it, right? You've attacked my babies, you've attacked my daughters, you've attacked my sons, you've attacked my husband, you've attacked my wife, right? So I decree and declare, this is the price, and let that price let that debt that you've accrued manifest back to me, multiplied and amplified 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So those are blessings that are already saved up, because why? You've decreed it. You've decreed your worth. They've done, as long as you have done nothing to them, they shouldn't be attacking you. There's legalities to the spiritual warfare thing. Listen to Cindy Trim. There's legalities to the spiritual warfare. You can't attack somebody that's above your pay grade. And when the Most High has told you to stop, when that person has no contract with you, they've not agreed to anything in spirit or in flesh, and you continue to harass that person and do witchcraft on them because you are hell-bent on getting them to pay. It could have been something that, just rejection, and you've been at it for 2 years because they don't want to sleep with you, because you have an uncontrollable sex demon that you don't want to go to a church or go get an exorcism to get rid of. You don't want to say a Psalms warfare prayer to get rid of. Instead, you want to send that demon to the person who it is picked to have sex, with them, to drain their life force or whatever, and just to basically completely incapacitate them. You see what I'm saying? When you know your worth, you get to declare and decree it. So build up on that. Use this time to rest. Use this time to be in communion with God, with your guides, whatever it is. But no, don't give up is the bottom line. Do not give up. Do not give up. I don't know when the time is. I don't think any of us are going to know when the time is. It's just going to happen. They're going to fall and we're going to rise, like a fault shift. Okay. So sorry this has been so long, but thank you if you're still here. Thank you so much for your support. Check out my Patreon. And I'm trying to do more journaling stuff on there, but just please bear with me. I appreciate you guys, and I love you very much. And remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix.